Hello, everybody. Welcome to another segment of the talk show with DJ Gatsby. I'm your host. We're in the studio today with a good friend of mine, Kondwani Fidel, from Baltimore, Maryland area. But before we start talking to him, I want to thank my guest from last week, author Lisa McKenzie. She came to the studio and we were talking about her book, Till Death Do Us Part. Also, I want to thank my new sponsors, Julia Nedrick and the good people at Virtual Last Wishes, and also Davian Clifton and Day Day Publishing. So we'll be back in just a moment with my exclusive interview with author, poet, and actor Kondwani Fidel. All right, hello everybody. We're back with the talk show with DJ Gatsby. As I told you before, we're in the studio with the one and only Kondwani Fidel. Did I get that right, my brother?
Yeah, you got it right.
Kondwani Fidel. He's a young man from Baltimore area.
Correct.
You're an actor, poet,
Yep.
Singer, dancer.
I can't really dance that much, but I do got a little singing voice.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk about all of his talents here today. Once again, everybody, welcome to the show, my brother.
Thanks for having me, man.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, I met this young man through a friend of mine, Davion Clifton, who was actually on my show a few weeks ago and told me about, this wonderful, talented young man who was on a course or path for stardom and had a wonderful following. I heard good things about you, man, and all the talented things that you do. Before we get into all that, I want you to just introduce yourself to everybody, tell them who you are and where you're from.
Okay. My name is Kondwani Fidel. I'm from Baltimore City, Maryland, East Baltimore to be exact. I was raised by my grandmother my entire life. We've been living in the same house for 21 years. I went to Catholic school from pre-K up until 9th grade. Then my 10th grade, I transferred to Baltimore City College High School, graduated, and then I attend Virginia State now. I'm a rising senior. I'm Mr. Senior to be exact.
Okay.
I write poetry. I do spoken word. That's just, one of my many passions. So that's just something I'm focused on right now.
The poetry. Right. Yeah. Well, you took you gave us a short version of everything. You said you attended Catholic school.
Yeah.
How was that transition from Catholic school to public school for you?
I mean, the transition wasn't awkward or anything. I thought that it would be, but for me growing up in the hood, I was still surrounded by people that went to these schools, and I would always be at these schools after school because we would get out earlier than them. So then me and my friend Anton would, sneak in there, let us in the back door. And we stayed there for like an hour. So we was already plugged in with everybody in the neighborhood and stuff. So it was just pretty much during the school hours, I wouldn't be around my friends, my neighborhood friends.
Okay. Now, when did you start writing poetry? I know you said was you a teen, early teens? When did you start writing?
It was my freshman year of college. I had this roommate. His name was DeAndre. He made beats or whatever. And every black person in the hood wanted to be a rapper. So when I found out,
hold on, let's correct that. Not everybody wants to be a rapper.
Majority.
All right, but we talking about Baltimore City, so I could be wrong. But your neighborhood, everybody want to be a rapper.
Right.
And who's one of your favorite rappers and people you admire?
Coming up. The crazy thing is, when I was growing up, I didn't really grow up on music. Music is something that I started having a passion for like early high school. So the people that I started listening to was like Jay-Z, Kanye West, J. Cole, people of that nature,
Okay. Yeah. All right, but back to your friend. You guys are coming up. Everybody wanted to be in the music, and how do you translate that into poetry, though?
All right, so I started writing some stuff. And I would let him hear it like, yeah, I want to rap. You should make me beats. We can blow up like Dame and Jay-Z or something like that. We had this big dream.
Okay.
So one of my other friends, he had like this studio in his dorm room, like cardboard boxes and stuff, like something homemade. So I go in there and I started rapping, and I was just like, no, this is not for me. I didn't have no rhythm. I didn't have no flow. But then I continued to write, and I would show my friends and a few of my friends, and mainly my cousin and my roommate, since we shared the same room. And a lot of people were saying, oh, it's good, it's good. You should keep writing. You should keep writing because it's really good. But I thought that they was just being biased because they were my family and friends.
Well, that happens,
Yeah.
but that happens a lot of times. Your friends always say, "Yo, what's good, man? Yo, you great. You know, I like your style." Then you go get booed somewhere, and you realize that your voice was just trying to put you on.
Right.
But
This how I got them. I would take some of the stuff to them and tell them that somebody else wrote it, or I wouldn't tell them it on there. Be like, "Oh, who wrote that?" And I'd be like, "I don't know. I just found it on the internet somewhere."
That's a sick move right there.
Yeah. So
you get your friends, get an honest opinion from them.
right.
All right. So you're writing your poetry. You went through the the music phase. You're writing your poetry. When do you actually decide to start performing it? Start doing spoken word? At what point in your life do you start that?
It was, when did I do my first spoken word performance? It was my sophomore year at college. It was this event that was going on. The organization, the True Foundation of Code Red that I'm a part of, we had this event and they needed somebody to fill an intermission spot because I think one of the dance organizations had backed off at the last minute. So, I just raised my hand in the meeting and was like, "Oh, I'll do the intermission." And he's like, "Oh, for real?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Oh, what did I just get myself into?" So then I had to write a piece. It was called True Love. And the day of, when I was about to perform it, it was just so, I don't know, it was just so surreal, and I kept going back and forth to the bathroom. I kept looking in the mirror like, is this what you really want to do? I'm sweating, I'm panicking. And like 5 minutes before I was about to go on, something had came over me and I was like, you know what, I'm not even gonna go. I'm gonna just tell them that I'm sick, I can't do it. But then
you got stage fright, cold feet.
Right. But then I went out there, did it. And after I finished, I had a standing ovation. Everybody loved it. People still talk about it to this day. So I feel like my first time it was in front of a crowd of, I want to say 200 plus people. So I feel like for that being my first time, I did a good job.
Wow, that's a very interesting story, man. Now, so you had been writing already, but when you had the opportunity to perform live, you wrote something specifically for that event.
Correct.
Wow, that's kind of cool right there, man. I understand how you do it. I was kidding you before about about being a DJ and a rapper. I was a DJ and a rapper in a little rap group and did rap demo records and everything when I was younger too. So, but that I never transitioned into poetry. I just pretty much stopped rapping and started doing other things musically, just more DJ. But I'm glad you didn't give up on your writing and continued, man, to do poetry. Now, a lot of people say there's a difference between spoken word and poetry. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, it is, because I feel as though all spoken word is a form of poetry, but not all poetry is spoken word. Because if I can write a haiku, I can write a short poem with 3 lines. I really wouldn't consider that spoken word, because how would I get in front of a crowd of 200 people and say, yeah, I got the spoken word piece for y'all. The roses are red, the violets are blue. I'm always remain true. Peace. They gonna feel disrespected. So I feel like it has to be something, something longer than, a normal poem would be.
Okay,
So,
I understand.
yeah.
I understand the length of it, because a lot of poetry is read.
Right.
And it's meant to be read.
Right.
But spoken word is meant to be heard.
Right.
A lot of times, and not really meant to be read.
Right.
So we're going to get back to you a little later, man, to talk about some other things that you do.
Okay.
Again, appreciate you for coming on, everybody. It's Kondwani Fidel, author, poet, extraordinary, spoken word artist.
Spoken word artist.
And an actor. We're going to talk a little bit about your acting endeavors and some of the parts you've tried to get and some of the other things that you've done. But stick with us, don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. So we're going to take a break. Remember, you're watching the talk show with DJ Gatsby. My guest is Kondwani Fidel, and we'll be right back. All right, everybody, we're back. Talk show with DJ Gatsby. We're still here with the one and only Kondwani Fidel. Kondwani, earlier in the previous segment, you talked about your early childhood, Catholic school, how you got into writing, which was rap lines, whatever, and then you started doing poetry. We finished up talking about your first performance that you did. You said it went very well. After that performance, how did your life change? Because now you're a poet. You're performing, you're a spoken word artist. How did your life change after that show at Virginia State University?
My life changed. I wouldn't say tremendously. I would say for myself tremendously, because after that, you know, it's like I embarked on a new journey in life. And it was like throughout my whole life, I never knew what I really wanted to be. And like everybody always knew that about me. Like I was just hopping from this idea to that idea because I was thinking about the money, you know. So then when I had something solid and concrete that I wanted to, you know, pursue, like a lot of people, they were actually proud of me, you know. And sometimes it was a bad feeling that I got, and sometimes it was good. Some people be like, oh, I never could see you doing this, or, you know, I never seen you doing anything like this. So I was like, you know, like, expect the unexpected. But then again, you know, they probably didn't, because from my upbringing and how my mother was, my father was, you know, so.
Yeah, so they were kind of surprised that you had actually decided what you wanted to do with your life.
Exactly.
Now, when you did this performance, you're 21 now.
Yes, 21.
When you did this show, how old were you then? So this isn't very long ago.
Yeah, like 18.
Right, so it's not very long ago that you actually did that. Right. What are some of the other places that you performed? I mean, over the last 4 years.
Over the last 4 years, I performed at many different events on campus. I performed events for Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. I did things for the Kappas. I spoke at suicide awareness programs, HIV prevention programs, breast cancer awareness. I did recently, a few weeks ago, here in Baltimore, well, not here, but in Baltimore, this fundraiser for this guy named Desmond. He's in a wheelchair. He's trying to raise money for this mobility van. I performed at an NAACP Image Award ceremony.
Hold on a second. NAACP Image Award ceremony. Where did this take place at?
At Virginia State University.
Okay, who were some of the other acts that were there? What are some of the other things that they did there?
They had since it was a heritage thing, it was a heritage ball, so they had some guys playing the drums, and there was some singing, a lot of African culture things that was going on.
How was your performance? What piece did you do there?
I actually did this piece that I made up for the actual event, and it was just a piece upholding black culture, you know, and black youth, and it was talking about, I also spoke on some things about black history, about how, you know, I understand how Carter G. Woodson, you know, declared February Black History Month, but I also was telling my audience that, you know, we need to celebrate black history every day, because we're breaking barriers every day, and not just celebrate it in the month of February. So that was like my overall message.
How was that performance received by the audience? Because I'm assuming that audience is probably a little different than a lot of the other audiences you ordinarily would run into or perform for on campus. How was your performance perceived by the people at the NCAA Image Award ceremony?
It was perceived well. It was mainly a lot of older people there, so, you know, a lot of older people, they love the message, you know, but it's kind of harder to beat it into the head of the youth, you know, because so they enjoyed it a lot, you know, and they said that they was gonna call me back for the next one that they have this year, so I'll probably write a new piece, you know.
All right. Well, yo, good luck with that, man. Congratulations on doing that show. Now, this is all before I kind of found out who you were. Since this summer, you've been doing a lot of shows in Baltimore. Tell us a little bit about some of the places and the things that you've been doing in Baltimore this summer.
Okay. Well, I performed at an event at a cultural arts museum. I performed recently, a few days ago, at Moe's Seafood Restaurant. Like I said, I did the fundraiser for the little guy Desmond to get the mobility van, and just different open mics, you know, just throughout the city, trying to get my name, you know, so people can know, so people can be familiar with me in my own city, because I found out that I wanted to be a writer in Virginia. So most of my followers are people that attend my school, although they from different places in the world, you know, but I feel like that's where my concrete followers are, so I try to just get my name out in the city, you know, more.
Okay, no, that's good. That's your hometown. That's where you're from. Yeah, you really want to, you want to give them an opportunity to see who you are and what you do, you know, because your hometown support is going to be very big. Yeah,
but then again, you know, it's a saying that says, you know, prophets don't get love in their hometown. So it's really it's really much harder to get support in Baltimore, you know, because poetry isn't really a big thing, you know, if you're not. playing basketball, football, or rapping, you know, you don't get that much of a following.
That is a good saying, but at the same time, that's where, you know, you own your craft, though.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because if you can make it there, and that's where everybody knows you from, then you know when you travel anywhere else, you know, your audience has no other reason than to accept you just for who you are.
Right.
Now, we're going to be going to, you're going to do some live poetry later on, ladies and gentlemen. He's actually going to be performing a couple of pieces for us later, right?
Right.
But before we go and talk about your acting,
Okay.
You recently auditioned or submitted some tapes for a piece for a biopic. Tell us a bit about that opportunity that you were trying to get with your acting career.
Okay, well, the opportunity came, it was so abrupt. This young lady that I spoke with, well, that I went to high school with, she hit me up, inboxed me on Facebook, like, yeah, I have an opportunity for you, you know, text me. And me and this girl probably never said 2 words to each other in high school, so it was kind of random. And she was telling me, like, her family members are in the entertainment business, and they know John Singleton, and they're casting for the Tupac film. So, yeah, that's how I got started. And, you know, she just sent me a description of things, what to do and how they should be done. You know, I did it. I made an audition tape. I sent it in. I blasted it off on social media, sent it to some casting directors. I had people calling me. I was calling people, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
So you auditioned actually for a part, played Tupac in a movie that's being made.
Correct.
And it's supported by Afeni Shakur and the family.
Yeah, I know for Afeni Shakur, the family's behind it. John Singleton is behind it, and a couple other amazing producers and directors.
Okay, now is that your first hand at acting, or is that your first audition for any acting pieces?
Yeah, that was my first audition, but I did act a lot. You know, like even in school, like we had pageants and plays, and even when I do my spoken word, you know, it's some form of acting, you know, but I wouldn't really call it acting because when I'm up there, you know, and I'm speaking something about my life or something that I wrote, you know, I'm filled with passion, so I'm passionate about it, and it might seem like it's acting, but that's really me, you know, and I can go from 0 to 100 like real fast.
Yeah, we're going to see you do that 0 to 100 in a few minutes. All right, yeah, congratulations on auditioning for the part, Tupac, man. I understand that no decisions have been made so far.
Right.
But keep going with the acting thing, man. You're very charismatic. Cameron seems to love you. Right. You have a nice personality, and I think you're going to go far with the acting career if you stick with that.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, it's DJ Gatsby. You're watching a talk show with my guest, Kondwani Fidel. We talked about his poetry and his acting career. As far as some other things, that you got a book that's going to be coming out soon.
Yes,
we're going to talk a little bit about that book in our next segment too. Okay. We're going to take a break. We're going to be back talking about his book, and he's actually going to perform a couple of his spoken word pieces. Once again, it's a talk show with DJ Gatsby.
Now this piece I'm going to perform to you all is called Memories. As I grow through life, I pray, may the odds be ever in my favor. Before my first fight, I was screaming that I'm greater. When I die, no money for heaven's applications. Because of my good deeds, I will get my fee waived. Why is it that we never believe anything stinks until we smell it? So is that why Pandora opened up the box that Zeus gave her with effortless ease? When she was told not to, I guess whatever that means. And then what flew out the box was every sickness and disease, and the only thing left in that box was some hope, which was me. The name Kondwani means faithful warrior, and a faithful warrior is me. And if poetry gets you choked up, this is the rope in the tree. And one thing I can guarantee is that every last person in this studio is going to think back and agree with every word that I spoke to the highest degree. So to God, this is my plea, to sweep up my past, every last bit of debris. We all perform actions that might seem small or innocent. Then we end up dealing with extreme consequences. Growing up in Baltimore, they told me dreams was illegal around here. They told me not to fly my dreams. How? Bow, they gonna get shot with Desert Eagles around here. Poetry needed some resurrection, so God sent me some blessings and told me to be the alarm clock to wake the people's minds up from resting. But no matter how far I climb the ladder, how much I increase my levels, no matter how many steps I take, they still make it their business to remind me I'm from the ghetto. Memories can be beautiful. Memories can be ugly. Sometimes I ask my memories, why didn't you love me? Memories, oh memories, they bring me much sorrow. But all I can do now is root for a better tomorrow. I was only a child, and I witnessed my 8-year-old little brother Fidel burn up in flames, while the firefighters carry him out the front window of his home, and all you saw was his pink flooded skin, his guts, and his brains. They say the good die young, but this I couldn't fade, and all I have for his memories are distorted ashes. I ask God every day to help me get past this. My teething ring was numb with madness and filled with nothing but sadness. I had it bad growing up. For new parents I used to recommend. Whenever my father was blazed off heroin and plastered off gin, he would lurk late nights, broad day, pull out guns and rob my own friends. Memories. I remember these memories just like that, laying on the living room floor watching Hey Arnold and Rugrats. 6 deep, the police came and burst through the back, fully equipped and strapped with black gats. I had to be bad luck because I was the young black cat. My mother, she burned pieces of my heart. And these missing pieces, I will reflect on my art like the stars coming out in the afternoon on a summer day at 1:15. That's how she violated her son. I would always receive bad news like the 757. Sometimes I wish I was a stillborn. I could have went straight to heaven and dodged all these bullets that pierced my little lungs from these 2 son-of-a-guns. I just want to relive my childhood and have some real fun. I don't need confusing metaphors and similes to paint you all my extremities. I just ask that when I die, that you all remember me. I remember my grandmother bought me a bike on my 13th birthday. My mother then stole and sold it the next day so she can go buy some drugs from Ray Ray. If I could just steal one wish from Ray J, it would be to spend a Christmas with both of my parents like Craig and Day Day. No Friday after next, but I remember on Easter Sunday, I was nearly grazed by a bullet from the victims my father robbed right in front of my steps. Nothing I'm speaking is made up. Yes, I came up rough. Nothing I speak in my art is to make me look tough. I might have a little frame, but my mind is too buff. My head is only but so big I can't fit all this stuff. My mother will harass my grandmother for money so she could buy blow. Whenever Granny said, me no I blow, no goodbye go, it would lead to cold nights like Chicago, because my mother would then burst out all of our windows. She the reason that today while my granny is dying slow, I'm sorry I can't fathom no more, I gotta go. In counting, last month would have made 6 months that my mother has been clean. But don't get excited just yet, you'll comprehend what I mean. I said last month because this month she turned back to a fiend. Back to a junkie willing to get high by any means. She left my little siblings abandoned, in the trenches of Baltimore stranded. My little dogs were too young to know about cues, but she left their hearts branded. You don't need a pen or pencil to construct this sort of math, when all I'm trying to say is, I just want to relive my childhood with my mom and my dad. Just like Sophia. All my life I had to fight. A boy child is not safe in a family that's filled with spite. The struggles I faced as a child is helps me now to maintain. So I'm going to fight until the death, until I'm the lone victor who remains. That's why I volunteered tribute to this life which I call a Hunger Games. I was born into a war and I've been brawling butt naked with nothing but my soul and my name. And from now on, the forecast will forever be cloudy and you will always see my rain. Thank you. So did y'all enjoy that piece?
All right, we're back. My man, listen, thank you so much for that performance, man. I have seen some of the films of you performing your spoken word, and ladies and gentlemen, it's nothing like him performing live. I appreciate you taking time out, come to the studio, do the interview, and actually doing a couple of spoken word pieces, man. Right. So listen, promise me that you'll come back to the studio at a later time and do more of your poetry, spoken word, and talk about that book when it's released.
I got you. I promise.
All right?
All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Kondwani Fidel on the talk show with DJ Gatsby. Don't forget to watch me on Comcast, Channel 99, Verizon Channel 11 in Charles County and the surrounding areas. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday at 9:30 and 4:30. Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 1:30 and 7:30. Also, you can watch the TV show online at www.youtube.com/DJ Gatsby. And as always, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Tumblr at DJ Gatsby X. Listen, thanks for watching. Thanks for coming on, my brother.
Thanks for having
me, I love
me,
you
man.
guys. Peace, and I'll see you next time.